Hey everybody, welcome back to Fixing Things. Man, shaky. We're on the Jeep. Going over here to get it. Bring in the shop. We're gonna put some brand new struts on it, if they fit. A ball joint and an idler pulley. All on this episode of Fixing Things. It's actually a pretty good looking Jeep. Might get some rain today, I don't know. But we're gonna be inside. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. All right, got Miss Angela's Jeep back in here. And if I remember right, I needed the hood prop 2000 to keep the hood up. Yes. Come out of here. These came from Rock Auto, and they're actually pretty nice. Springs are powder coated. Got a big caution sign on it so you don't explode your face. Now, I don't know if they're the right ones or not. We're gonna compare them before we take the other ones apart. It's an ordeal. The electronic stuff, I believe, is on top of the bolts that holds it. So sitting over top of the struts bolts that holds it to the chassis is the electrical boxes. There's a little computer, the fuses, and another fuse box. And these things are just held in by clips. And then there's a plastic plate that has some 10mm screws. But since we're going to be messing with moving these electrical things out of the way, it's a good idea to disconnect the battery. So what we're going to do is just take a 10mm wrench and disconnect the ground strap. There we go. Now it's safe to work on. So there's little straps and connector thingies. I gotta put my glasses on because I can't see. All right, so the bolts that are holding everything down is underneath this piece of plastic. And I think it only has like 3 little thingies holding it on. So we'll get those out of the way. Then there's the 4 big bolts that holds the suspension, the strut down. Now you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks like this thing has been off one time before. We're gonna spray this down with some good looby dooby. And but first we're gonna clean this up and spray paint this area. That way we can get, if it has any adjustment. Some of these don't have adjustment. The adjustment is down below. Some of these have adjustment up here. So let's do that. All right, using an 18mm socket. So I went ahead and sprayed everything down with some PV Laster. I decided not to take this one off, the upper sway bar. I'm going to use the lower sway bar because I don't see that it's going to be in the way of taking out the strut. Now we're going to take the lower strut bolt off the big huge strap. And they say you're supposed to measure that, but the new one's got a hole notched in it so you can't get it wrong. So I'm going to go with the hole notched in it so you can't get it wrong. That bolt is a 21mm. All right, there's a couple ABS wires you want to get off. One is attached to the strut, and the other one is attached to the frame, because you don't want to break that. Some things is you got to use brute force, and some things you don't. I'm just going to take a little screwdriver, pry that sucker off. And squeeze the tabs on. Let me get needle nose pliers. Squeeze the tabs in the other one and push it through. Tie wire on here. And just kind of loop that around. That'll hold it. Lift up on the thing. Take the nut off. So we tapped on that collar while spreading it a little bit. I didn't get the footage. But now all I gotta do is take that bolt out, and I'm hoping I can just get it out this way without taking the brake line off. If I have to, and that's what I gotta do. I'm too far into it now. Still got slack in my brake line. My finger, okay. That was my finger. All right, there it is. Now these things are supposedly left and right. Let's see what we got. All right, we got it all back together. I double checked, everything's tight. Put the tire back on. Put the lug nuts back on this side. And we'll do the other side. All right, on this side too, the windshield washer fluid holder, tankage, is in the way. It's got a couple screws, a little pop thing, get it out of the way, get to the bolts. Then it's basically the same as the other side, except for the ball joint. We'll cut out of high speed when we do the ball joint. All right, it's done. Probably took me a good 8 hours or better. I don't even know what time it is. All I know is it's dark outside. My supper's been ready for a couple hours. I'm gonna check make sure I didn't forget nothing. I'm tired right now. So tomorrow morning, I'm gonna come out here, make sure, eyeball everything, make sure I tightened everything. And I'm probably gonna let it off the lift tonight. But I'll see you in the morning, and we'll give this thing a test drive. Whew, it's the next day. I think I'm done with the Jeep Grand Cherokee, but I want to double check, make sure everything is done, because I don't want to send it back to Miss Angela with suspension bolts loose. We got the struts in. On the first video we did the tensioner pulley, and we got the ball joint in. I'm pretty sure we got it all. But I want to double check. It's a beautiful day out. Yesterday was barren hot. Today it's only going to be 85 degrees. What a way to end the video on a good day. All right. So we got this thing down on the ground. I got everything buttoned up here. Everything's tight, except for that one. Ain't that thing tight? Maybe that don't get tight. I'll double check that. See, that's where we got to double check. Last night it was late. I was tired. Got to put the battery ground on. All this is tight up here. That's done. The idler pulley's finished. Tensioner pulley's finished. I do like how Jeep, they coated their brake lines so they don't rust. That's a nice point. They should have gave a little bit of more room in there so you didn't have to take the big nut off the front. But once I got that nut off, man, it just worked. Let's take a look at these old shocks. All right, so here's the old shocks. Get the left, the driver's side here, and the passenger side. So this one here, if you noticed, actually looks pretty good. You can see scuff marks right there on the shaft. It's pitted pretty bad. I can feel it with my finger. So this one strut definitely was bad. All right, we got this thing back up on the lift, and what I want to do is make sure everything is tight. So that's drawn up tight. This side we never even had off right there. I guess I can raise it up a little more. Yeah, we did have the upper ball joint. The lower ball joint we didn't loosen up on this side. Hard to see with the bright sunshine coming in. I can't get it back up. Supposed to have a cane. All right, that nut is all the way tight. That one's drawn up. Is that one drawn up tight? Go around the other side. This is the side we had completely torn apart. All right, that's drawn up tight. That's drawn up tight. Can't tell on that one, it's on this side. That's drawn up tight, that's drawn up tight. That's pulled up tight against that. I like to give people's vehicles back to them, especially if it ain't mine, a little bit better than what it was, a little bit better than what they asked for. Same thing when I do a haircut, I want to go over and top of what is expected of me. That way they feel, you know, appreciated. Now, she's getting a really good deal. I'm not charging her very much for what I've done. But all her rubber plastic bumper stuff was all flopping in the wind and everything. So all this stuff is tightened back up and looks good. And that's a little bit over the top. So let's get this thing back down on its wheels. Already tightened up the radiator overflow thingy. The battery is being hooked back up. The hood prop 2000. Oh. All right. Motor runs. Pump the brakes because we had the one thing off. There we go, we got brakes. Let's back this bad boy out. Once I put it in reverse. Sure I don't run over my puppies. Don't hit my Pinto. Usually I would hear that rattling in that ball joint. All right, we're in drive. We put my puppies inside. I think it's fixed. I can hear that EGR or whatever valve it is, and I think that's what's causing it to run rough. Let's go inside. Come on, Penny. Don't want to run over my puppies. I'll let you back out when I get back. Come on. I'll be right back. See that beautiful duck? Go watch my video, see how I did it. Always cascade steps. All right, let's take this thing for a test drive. Who thinks we got it fixed? Oh man, last night, it was late. I was about 9 o'clock last night. Finally got it back together. I was so tired, hot. I probably should wait until today, because today it's beautiful outside. All right, let's get this thing rolling. Suspension hasn't fallen off yet. Doing pretty good. Just turn around up here in Carol's aunt's yard. All this property down here is family land. All right, let's go forward. Clunking. Definitely a stiffer ride than what we had before. All right, do a little four-wheel driving and do some jumps, because that's how I check my ball joints. Soft gravel. That's where we went up last time. Not even the check engine light's not even on anymore. My gosh, I think we got it. Let's put this thing away. Tell Miss Angela her car, her Chariot is ready to pick up. I think that's the EGR valve. I everything is shot. It's like a gurgly, rattly sound. All right. Running and driving good. Whew, got warm up in there. The key where she left it. Under the mat. So all in all, that was a success. It was tough. It was tough. She's got a pretty nice vehicle here. It's in pretty good shape. I still don't know exactly what year it is. I had to order 2 ball joints because this model Jeep had actually 3 different style ball joints for the lower ball joint. But I knew one of them wasn't right because one of the Jeeps this year has a straight axle, and then the other 2 ball joints is up in the air. I don't know. I don't like her blacked out rims like that. They kind of look dirty. I think if she takes a little bit of sandpaper on the high spots and it'll make them stand out, make the vehicle pop. Looking good. So when we first did this started this video, the front end was hanging all off and everything. All that's all tightened up now. Pulley's fixed. Everything's ready for her. Miss Angela, your chariot is awaiting. Hey, if you like these videos, hey, like and subscribe. It got so hot in my garage last night or yesterday that the phone stopped working. It didn't even show that the battery, it was acting like it was in a direct sun, and it wasn't. Like and subscribe. It's not like I need content. I got boatloads of projects. My wife says I'm overworked in my to-do things. But sometimes I just like to help a friend out. Miss Angela, she's a manager, works for us, and she's trying to do the best she can, and if I can help her out, I can help her out. God bless each and every one of you. Hey, remember, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You see that? We got it done. We got it done. Man, I got a boatload of editing to do. Whew. Man, that was hard. It was hot. Man, it was hot. Oh, I need to get a refrigerator inside my garage. I need to get the insulation put up in my garage. I need to get the AC put in my garage. I got so many projects. Oh my gosh. Miss Angela, like your Blazer. No, not Blazer. Miss Angela, you got a good Jeep Cherokee. It's not worth throwing away. Don't let people tell you, hey, you might as well get rid of this piece of junk. That thing's in good shape. God bless each and every one of you.